the big story tonight, obviously, is Dane Swan and his suspension from Collingwood for 2 matches, getting so close to the finals. The Magpies have issued a statement that Dane Swan will miss the next 2 matches. The decision was made after the club became aware that Swan had been drinking alcohol 6 days before next Saturday's match against the Sydney Swans. A clear breach of club protocol. The suspension followed discussions between a number of parties, including the leadership group. We're going to speak to Tony Shaw shortly. Your quick thoughts, Robbo, and then we'll hear from Mick Malthouse and then speak to Shaw.
Quick thoughts is, Dane Swan said he wasn't drinking. The club has suspended him for drinking alcohol. If he's lying, Dane Swan has put himself only above the group, not only above the group, but if he was drinking and they've accused him of lying, he's put himself above everything that the club's trying to strive for this season. It's not good. In any way you look at it, if you take Swan's point of view, I was drinking, I'm a drinker, that's what I do, it doesn't affect me on the field. He's averaging 38 touches in the last 9 games of football, it doesn't affect him. But if you make rules, every player's got to stick by those rules. Whether you're a Dane Swan or you're bloody Ben Sinclair, you've got to stick by the agreement of the group. And the fact that he said to him, I wasn't drinking alcohol, and they said you were.
The history of this is fascinating, I think, under the Malthouse years, where it appears from the outside. I think Mick's openly said that he's indulged players that have, you know, they're the lads.
But you've got to have different, maybe, sets of rules for people. I don't know.
Well, let's listen to what Mick said tonight on 3AW before we discuss it further with Tony Shaw.
You know, Dane's Dane. If he says something, you've got to listen. I mean, how do you doubt someone? Of course, there might be doubt, but you know, do you believe someone? This is, if this has taken place the way we're reading it, they're saying that Dane didn't get it right.
Does it have potential to derail their prospects this year?
The ideal situation to go in, you need the planets aligned. To go into a final series, you need the planets alive, knowing that every player that's playing has got a wonderful fitness base, has played continuous football with his teammates for a number of weeks. I don't think 2 weeks is going to hurt Dane Swan.
No, 2 weeks, mate. Seriously, let's go and talk to Tony Shaw.
Okay.
Okay, he's got, you know, he's really close, so I'd like to hear Tony Shaw.
Are you happy with the 2 weeks as Shaw joins us, and then we'll ask him?
2 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. If they think, if Swan went out drinking, and they think that Dane Swan's lied to them, is 2 weeks enough? Probably not. Really, probably not. But they're trying to win a flag. So they're trying to say, Swanee, mate, we love you, but don't lie to us when you say you haven't been drinking, because we don't believe you. You know, so I don't know. Tony Shaw was coach, Tony Shaw was captain. I really want to hear Tony Shaw's thoughts.
Well, let's hear those thoughts. Shawry, good evening to you, mate.
Huddo, Robbo, how you going, chaps?
We're going well. What's your thoughts on 2 matches so close to the finals? Was it something they simply had to do in your mind?
Well, have we heard all the story here? Look, what I've heard is they might have made a pledge that there was no grog to be drank in public till after the finals. Now, then I heard that they said they can have a drink at home. I don't know whether that's true or not true, so we haven't got the whole story here. A teammate believed that he had a big night and overindulged the night before and made it known to either the leadership group or someone else. So I don't think Swanee will be sending him Christmas cards this year, chaps.
Yeah, but Shawry...
Hold on, Robert. Then Swanee has said that he wasn't drinking, so they haven't taken him at his word that he wasn't drinking. He said he had been drinking water. So something's happened that we still don't know about. You know, this is a Brownlow medalist and a multiple Copeland Trophy winner. I think curfews and total abstinence from a group sort of sense and making it, you know, the way that you'll have penalties is archaic. But I'm with you, Robbo. If they made a commitment, if all signed off on it that no one was to drink during this period of time, or set certain levels of drinking, or set certain times when they couldn't, well, he has to pay a price. Now, 2 weeks, I think that's just either here or there. I'm not really fussed about it, you know, but I don't know what's going on here, because like Nick said, they haven't taken Swanee at his word. I don't think he's in the leadership group anymore, is he?
No, he's not.
So something isn't gelling here for me at the moment about the background. Has he gone in there and told a few porcupines and they found him out, or they still haven't believed him? But it's a big one when you've got a senior player as in performance on the ground. His word not being taken when he has said that he wasn't drinking and was drinking water. No, so again, I don't think everybody knows everything, Robbo.
Yeah, perhaps, Tony, and perhaps we can learn more about it in the next 24 hours. If it seems to me, Shorey, that they don't believe him. Okay, so
No doubt.
The leadership group, his teammates, and the club are basically saying, "We don't believe you. You're lying to us." Dane Swan. He's a very popular figure. Can that sort of disruption have an effect on Collingwood's performance from here on in?
Well, it depends on how. Really, the only person it depends on is how Swanee takes this. You know, not having, saying that he wasn't drinking, then they're not taking him at his word. He might feel aggrieved by that. So
no doubt.
I hope he doesn't, because you want him playing good football. Now, he could pull up. So I don't think he's that way inclined myself. He's a pretty hard nut. And he's a player. He's one of the boys. Look, I've got just quickly a story. 1990, Lee Matthews, when we got beaten by Hawthorn out at Waverley about 4 weeks out, come in and put bandwagon on the board, which meant I'm going off the grog. Now, Lee didn't drink a lot anyway. So as captain, you do what you do. And all the blokes put up their names. But I had one player come to me who put up his name. He said, "You know what, sure, I only did that because of the group, but I don't think I can play good footy if I don't relax on a Saturday night with a couple of beers." And it would get to me. I'd get hypo and all that. I said to him, "Mate, do it in the right way. Don't publicise it.
Yeah.
If you need a couple of beers, do it at home. Have a couple of beers, because this bloke was a competitor, a good player, and we'd needed him to go." Now, that might have been bad captaincy. I'm not too certain. But he said to me his performance would be affected if he couldn't let his hair down a little bit every Saturday, because he built up the tension. So that's a little story from a long time ago, which we have to look at. I again say I don't know whether we've got all the story here. If that is the story and they haven't believed him and he's got the 2 weeks, I don't know how the leadership group can not believe a man of his calibre,
Yeah, well, clearly
unless he's had things behind the scenes before, which we know might have.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, clearly history has to play some sort of part, at least with his teammates here, sure.
Yeah, but that history's a long way away. If you're talking about what happened outside the pub, I've nearly got to forgive him for that.
Not talking about that at all.
So what are you talking about, Huddo?
No, you would have to think, I mean, I'm only surmising and I guess going on things I've heard, that, the players in this situation, for them to come and recommend that a 2-match suspension, as you said, there must be a reason for that.
Now, Huddo, if we surmise and think that we hear rumours all over and we believe these things and we make a certain player something he's not, if we believe the rumours we heard over pre-season, nearly every AFL player was having recreational drugs. So we don't believe it because we think these players are... I'm not into it. I think you've got to educate these players to allow them to let their hair down. I think the pressure of media scrutiny, which we know, it's enormous, isn't it? I don't know. Some players can cope with it, and maybe the small minority, cannot cope with it. So you have to pick your mark. But I'm with Robbo. If they had made a commitment and they all signed off on it, and Dane Swan signed off on it, and he's gone the other way, he had to pay a price. Whether it's 1, 2, 3, they make that decision.